This is a Bergen Film Club podcast.
Like an old movie removed from the frame, I am floating and looking for someone to blame. Won't you project me on the walls of your heart? I'm waiting for the real thing to start.
Hello, welcome to The Real Thing. I'm your host, Joe Lawrence, and today we're here for our standard recommendation episode. And today I'm joined by Hans Christian Horne.
Hey.
Hey. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are the economy responsible.
The money man.
The money man.
Head of finance.
Yeah. Daddy Warbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what you do outside of being the guy with the credit card?
Yeah. I mean, BFK is a non-profit organization, so my pretty much only responsibility is making sure we don't go bankrupt. And that the club stays alive, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I buy in equipment, I make sure that our finances are in order, that we can pay for licensing fees. How it works practically is I have my own finance email, Manolia, head of booking, who will probably be on an episode soon.
Hope so.
Yeah, when she comes back from Turkey. Sends me invoices for the movies we show, or material fees, like the DCPs, the films themselves. And I pay them, and sometimes I send a proof of payment to her, and then we can show the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. You recently bought us new equipment for the podcast.
I did, which we're using right now.
Which I'm using right now. Very grateful. Yeah. And you're also pretty new to the board?
Yeah. I've been in the board for under a year. I think I joined in April or May of last year.
Yeah.
I think
so.
Yeah, but I didn't really start officially before August or even October or something like that.
You've got some recommendations, and I hear that you have a lot.
Yes.
And I'm also very curious about what you are gonna suggest. So, go for it. Take it away.
I asked you a little while ago if there's limits to what I can recommend, and you said no. So
okay.
I have movies, of course, because it's movie club. I got some short films, I got some documentaries, I got some albums. I got an animal and a recipe. The first thing I want to recommend is A Page of Madness from 1926. It is guaranteed the best silent film I've ever seen. It's a Japanese avant-garde silent film about a man who takes a job as a janitor in an insane asylum in an attempt to rescue his wife, who is a patient there.
Yeah.
And it has some crazy visuals. It has no how in silent films there's dialogue, but there's dialogue boxes and cues. There's none of that.
Oh.
It's entirely just visual, because when the movie was shown in theaters, they had an interpreter who told the story by the stage, like a Japanese play sort of.
Like a live narrator.
A live narrator, yeah, which I think was normally in other countries as well.
Wow, very cool.
I really like that there's just no narrative. You feel the scenes in yourself, sort of. And it would be great for a silent film concert of one day.
Yeah.
Teaser.
Or even have a live narrator. That would be fun.
Yeah, or that.
Or not.
I think we're better without. But that's A Page of Madness. It's very cool. It's also a horror movie. A psychological horror movie. And has some really crazy scenes. The second one I want to recommend is A Perfumed Nightmare. It's a really interesting movie that I can't remember all the details of right now. All the interesting details, but it's semi-autobiographical by I think it's like the Philippines' first director, or like one of the Philippines' first directors. It's about a taxi driver who lives in like this small Philippine village and is like head of like an American fan club where they just like, what's it called? It's named after like the American rocket scientists who worked on the Apollo missions. Werner Brown, the Werner Brown Club.
Okay.
They just like romanticize America and the West like to just like an insane amount, and it's just like, oh shit, everything in the US is amazing while they live in this like poor Philippine village. But one day he travels to Paris and he becomes like very like disenchanted with the West.
Yeah.
And that's basically the plot. It's just like it's just so interesting. It's like all narrated by him and acted by him, and filmed on a very low budget. From like the Philippines to like France and Germany and stuff. It's on Criterion, I think. Please watch it.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third one is one I watched really recently. It's called The Pied Piper, but the Czech movie.
Right.
It's a
that looked cool.
Czech stop motion animation based on The Pied Piper with like an incredibly dark ending. Can I spoil it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so the story of The Pied Piper is there's this city who has a rat problem. A guy with a flute shows up, lures all the rats out of the city to their deaths, but the village doesn't pay him back. In the original fairy tale, I think he takes his flute and lures all the children to their deaths. But in this film, he takes his flute, turns every villager in this town into rats.
Whoa.
And then lures them all to their deaths.
Okay.
It's like German expressionism too, so the town itself just looks crazy as well as like weird angles, and like they mix like 2D and 3D, like there's 3D on like 2D spaces and stuff. It's super insane. I want to show it in BFK one day.
Yeah, I saw that you had watched it. It looked really cool.
It is. It's super cool.
Very good story as well.
Oh yeah. And yeah, they just like they do their own like flip on it sort of. It's also like they speak gibberish, and it's extremely funny to me. Okay. Because like some of the characters just like they sound insane. Yeah. And it's just like it's like gibberish German. You can sort of hear like German words in there somewhere. Okay. Which is like that's all the feature films I have. Okay. But then there's the short films. Yeah. It took me way too long to watch this. It's called Double King. Okay. It's on YouTube. I think a lot of people have seen it. I think it's very popular. I think it's just a short film about like power and greed, and this like king who tries to become like the king of all kings. Okay. So he goes around the world and different dimensions, stealing crowns from other kings until someone kills him. But then he goes to like the death dimension and tries to steal like the crown from death himself. Right. Okay. And it's so satisfying to watch. It's so satisfying to listen to. It just looks perfect. I wish it went on for like 2 hours at least. Yeah, it sounds like a feature movie. Yeah, it could be a feature movie. Sounds cool. Maybe they make one day. And it's free on YouTube. I think every single one of these short films is free on YouTube. The other one, I think Carlina's talked about this in another episode, but Portrait of God is so cool. I love Portrait of God. It is very, very good. Yeah. Very creepy. Yeah, I don't want to say more about it. Watch it, please. It's super creepy. Watch it in the dark as well. It helps. It's pulled off very well. It is. It is. And the third one is actually a short film made by my friend David Bramselv, who works as a music video director and does some other project with his friends in Copenhagen. Okay. He made a short film that was listed for some competition in Denmark called White Anastasia. It's like this short 14-minute thriller about a guy obsessed with, I think, the death of his ex-girlfriend and tea. Tea? Yeah, tea. Okay. So there's just like, it's based like upon tea drinking, but also like muscle memory, and how that can like lead to insanity and death. Okay. It's pretty cool. I think it's on YouTube. If not, I will send it to you somewhere. Okay. Sounds intriguing. Yeah. Then I have a documentary.
Yep.
I'm very fascinated about the history of black metal in Norway.
Mm.
I think it's a very like batshit insane story.
It is very interesting. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's lots of documentaries about this.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I want to recommend is Until the Light Takes Us, which is super interesting to me because they use a lot of early footage, like I think every documentary does. But they also interviewed Varg Vikernes while he was in jail.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They talked to him.
Wow.
And he is an insane man. He's a character.
Yeah. They were all
Thinks
kind
he's a
of
Viking.
insane. Yeah. Mm.
They also interviewed the I think lead singer of Dark Throne, and just just captures the history of it very, very interestingly. There is
Mhm.
like explicit scenes of self-harm and a lot of like violence, so be wary, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still very interesting.
I should also say, I think I've talked about this before. A podcast that I listened to, Last Podcast on the Left, did a series about the Norwegian black metal history, and that was very, very good. I felt like I learned a lot, I guess, from that as well.
Cool. I need to give it a listen.
Yeah.
The next one is a album or an EP. It's 30 minutes long, I think. It's called Rat City
Okay.
by Ratchew,
Mm.
featuring songs such as Cheese Week.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like a meme, but it's a Norwegian queer punk band inspired by Death Grips.
Yeah. Cool.
And they use just like some really cool samples. The EP is just like mixed incredibly well. I did an interview series with the band on Horne's Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just really cool people.
Yeah, they seem very cool.
They were. I love those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Rat City and Ratchew in general are
Yeah.
very cool. Also, I want to recommend a podcast. Is that allowed?
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to recommend the Magnus Archives. It's my favorite podcast. It is so fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
A sort of second season or like a second part of it, a sequel, if you will,
Yeah.
is in the works right now called the Magnus Protocol. I've not started on it yet.
Yeah.
But-
What's it about?
Well, the Magnus Archives is it's a horror podcast about this archivist who works at the Magnus Institute,
Okay.
who record like cases of supernatural and horror events in England
Mm.
and all around the world, pretty much. It's an anthology series, so it starts off with like a very simple story, but then as you go on, all the stories start to connect.
Mm.
But they do it in like a very, very interesting way, and it
Cool.
turns into this like big story. But while it does this, all the episodes can be like listened to as like episodes in their own regard.
Okay.
It's super cool.
Yeah, it sounds very cool.
Yeah.
I've never like given podcasts like that a chance because I feel like I don't understand the format, but that sounds very cool.
I would definitely recommend this.
Mm.
It's they use sound design very well. Like there was this like behind the scenes episode they did where they talked about like there's like a lot of worms. They explore
Yeah.
pretty much every fear. So like fear of holes, fear of spiders, fear of death, fear of the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. They said they used like a lot of pasta to make the sounds of worms.
Oh,
So when
Interesting.
like there's worm episodes,
okay.
air quotes, you just hear this like sloshing in your ear.
Oh,
It's very disgusting.
okay, cool.
And the narrator has this like really like grumpy like old English voice.
Yeah.
It's great.
Hmm.
That's my 9 recommendations, but I have some unofficial ones as well.
Okay.
I know Caroline has found this as well. I'm not sure if she has mentioned it on the podcast, but Skinamarink.
No, she hasn't. No.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Well, I want to recommend Skinamarink.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horror from 2021, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. Have you watched it?
No.
It's really cool. It
Hmm.
especially if you grew up and was like obsessed with like paranormal footage on YouTube. Like you search up like real ghost caught on tape,
Oh yeah.
and it was just like a blurry camera at a kitchen while the doors
Oh
open.
yeah. Hmm.
It's just that. Like you can criticize the movie because like nothing happens in it.
Okay.
But it's very just like atmospheric, and it's not for everyone, but I love it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that YouTube channel that was called like Top Fives? And it was just like top 5 ghosts caught on like a nanny cam, or top 5 monsters seen on a Ring camera outside a front door.
I think so. Maybe not that channel specifically, but like lots of those videos.
Yeah, I feel I got into them when I was in my like late teens because I used to be too scared as a kid, but I do enjoy them. So I would probably enjoy the movie then.
Yeah, I think you will.
Yeah,
It's
up until
got,
the
like, the
point,
same
because then I
spirit.
get scared for real. Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
There's also this like there's also this anime movie that I never get to recommend because it's really hard to recommend.
Okay.
Because it's a movie called The Disappearance of Suzumiya Haruhi.
Okay.
And you can't watch it alone. You need to watch like 24 episodes in order to watch it.
Ah.
But when you do, it's such a good it's such a good movie. It's like 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
But I can't recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen the show.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. But I feel like that
Yeah.
with like Evangelion, because I have never seen any of it. But I know that I will have to watch the series, and I don't want to.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. But what's the series about?
The series is about this. There's this girl who, unbeknownst to her, is God.
Oh. Okay.
She, everything she wants to happen happens,
Interesting.
and all the other characters, including the main character, is just like sort of at the mercy of this.
Right.
And the series is very just like bizarre and experimental at points. There's
Okay.
this like, this makes like there's this thing in the series where there are 8 episodes which loop. It's the same story.
Right.
So
Okay.
they're stuck in a time loop, and this goes on for 8 actual episodes
Oh.
with different angles, but it's the same day, the
yeah.
entire episode.
Okay.
And it's just like that makes people not want to watch the show. I skipped like I think 4 of them.
Okay. This is a hard sell.
Yeah, it
But
is.
it sounds cool
It
though.
is.
The premise sounds very cool.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It is a very good show. I think it's like considered like a classic. But the movie is very different because the movie is about Suzumiya Haruhi, the girl who is God. She
Yeah.
disappears
Oh.
and
Okay.
leaves like a very like strange void,
Yeah.
and it's sort of just like explores how the characters like live and are in this world without her.
Hmm.
And it's just like it's very well animated.
Yeah.
And it's such a good film. I can't recommend it to anyone.
No. When's it from?
2012, I think.
Yeah,
It's like
okay.
early 2010s.
Hmm.
It doesn't get that much like it doesn't get that much like rep outside of this like aside this series, I guess,
Okay.
because it's like so tied in.
Yeah.
So if you have time to watch 24 episodes minus 6, I'd say,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Sounds good.
it's worth it. I have 2 last recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
They're incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
I want to shout out the Mega Pina Squid.
Oh. Okay.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay.
Mega penis squid.
I need to look this up. I love deep sea creatures, and this is like
Yeah, they are very. They're very cool.
this is the deep sea creature of all time.
Okay, he's pulling it up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like him.
This doesn't really like. I need to find like the size comparison. It's kind of ridiculous.
It looks like a spaceship.
It's the one on the right there. You see?
Whoa.
It's absolutely huge.
That's very large. Yeah.
Please include a picture of it.
I absolutely will.
That could be like the picture of me.
Yeah.
Just add some glasses.
Yeah.
Also, last recommendations, I promise,
Mhm.
is Tina hot chicken soup.
Okay.
It's a really good recipe. It takes like 5 ingredients,
Mhm.
not including spices.
Okay.
And it tastes amazing. It's gotten me through university so far.
Okay. Like Tina, like the brand.
Like the brand, yeah.
Hot chicken soup.
Hot chicken soup.
Great. Maybe we should start doing like food recommendations.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and an animal recommendation that was very fun. Yeah, those were very good. Those were very good. It warranted there being so many because they were very good recommendations. But thank you very much for being on.
Yeah, no worries.
Feel free to come back at any time. The podcast door, the metaphorical door, is always open.
Nice. I'll
Yeah.
come back to some episode.
Yay.
I'm not sure which.
Cool.
Maybe next semester.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.
This has been a Bergen Film Club production. Our music is by Wise John. Check them out on Instagram at WISEJohnOfficial. Our logo is by Pia Sofia Brentersen. This episode was produced, mixed and engineered by Joel Lawrence. Our researchers are Inke Shilpkai-Bern and Mamina Nazmajid. Want to talk to us about films? Then please send us an email at podcast@bergenfilmclub.com. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at TheRealThingPod. Check us out on Letterboxd at BFK The Real Thing. Thank you and goodbye. Listen, follow, leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts.